Hello again everyone, Craig here from Soundiron, and in today's walkthrough we're going to be checking out the Ancient Greek Compendium. This library contains all three of our Ancient Greek series of products from Ancient Greek strings, winds, as well as percussion. If you'd like to learn more about each individual library, make sure to check out the full walkthroughs in the YouTube playlist. So after you install the library, you'll see you have some different folders to choose from strings, winds, and percussion. Each of these have a folder for custom effects presets as well. You also have the Ancient Greek Compendium NKI, as well as a folder for custom effects presets for that as well. Alright, so before we start exploring the user interface, I want to play for you some of the custom effects presets that come with the library. These were all built around the Compendium NKI, which has all three instruments loaded up, as well as a fourth layer for ambiences and subsynth. So let's go ahead and listen to some of these. This next effects preset is called Glisses, and it utilizes the gliss feature within our ARP section. So if we turn this off, you'll see you just have your regular conch shell. But then if we turn this on, and then if we listen to it with the strings, so you can hear you get this really whimsical gliss effect, which sounds really cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and start exploring the user interface a little bit. So you have these four different layers, one for strings, and then there's also a drop-down for some different stringed instruments. So you can choose these here. You also have a layer for winds, and then you can right here see all the different instruments, as well as the different articulations. Then you also have one for percussion, as well as an ambience, which contains some different ambiences that we created using the source content, as well as some different subsynth sustains and staccatos. So if you go up top here to this little settings icon, you'll see that it opens up the advanced tab. Here you have some LFO, filter, and ARP options, as well as this velocity range. The velocity range is only on the strings and percussion. For the winds, you'll see it has a legato. And when you click this, you can customize how you want the legato to be, or if you want it to be legato or portamento. And then for the velocity range, it's really cool because you could learn this to any MIDI CC controller. Right now I have it set to my mod wheel. And then if you want, you can turn on the ARP and get some really cool dynamic writing with this. So let's have a listen to some of the other stringed instruments. This one's the lyre. And then you have some different articulations as well. So right here you have the pluck finger, the pluck pick, staccato, mute, and the effects. Let's have a listen to the pick. And then you have a staccato, a mute, and some effects. So you got these lyre bow effects. If we click this drop down, you'll see some of the other ones. You got some slides. And you also have some strums. Let's check out another one. This one is the Pandora. This one's called the Formings. Now let's have a listen to some of the different wind instruments. This one's called the Plagiaulus, and it also uses the legato. So if you click right down here, you'll see that you have some different options. So let's check out the legato P layer. And I'm also going to be learning the volume knob to my mod wheel just to get a little bit more expression. And then if you want to take any of these and make them a little bit more ambient by adding some effects, you can head over to the effects rack. We have a reverb loaded up. So if you want to change this, make it a little bit more ambient, you can increase the mix. Let's turn up the time and the size. Then you can also add some other effects. So if you want to add a delay, you can do that. Then you can also sync this, set up a ping pong. You can control the mix. Great for creating some really beautiful melodies. This library also has a pan flute. This one's called a Salphinx. Almost kind of sounds like a unique trumpet. Let's go ahead and check out another one now. And if you want to listen back to any of these instruments with their recorded range, you can turn this extend range off and you can see only the notes that are recorded from this instrument. Let's have a listen to some of the effects for this instrument. And another thing I want to mention is you also have some sound shaping controls as well. So if you go down here below these 4 layers, you'll see that you got volume, attack, offset, release. For the release, there's a drop down, so there's normal, pad, and then the release volume. And then you also have this width controller, which widens out the sound a little bit. And then you have this vibrato depth and rate, as well as an auto pan, which is what I have it set to right now. And then there's also a regular pan. So if you want to set it to pan and pan it to the left, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and reset this. And then you also have this pitch knob right here, and you can control this by semitones or cents. So depending on what kind of fine tuning you want to get. Or you can do semitones. And another really cool thing, if you want to take some of these effects and spread them across the key range, if you click this little button right here and then select the note, so let's do one of the effects. Now you have that across the entire key range, so you can kind of simulate that pitch sound, whether it's lower or higher. So that's something that I like to do, especially with the more effects type articulations, because when you pitch them really low or really high, they're not normally played like that, so you can get some really unique and cool sounds. So now I want to play for you some of the percussion that comes with the library, and a couple features I want to show you is that you also have this map offset right here, so you can map and change the layout of the percussion. So right now I'm just going to leave it at default. This is the ensemble preset, so let's have a listen to this. And then you can also load up all the individual instruments as well, so let's check out the next one. Then if you click this drop down right here, you'll see you have some different articulations as well. You got the center hit, edge hit, some double hits, some rolls. Let's check out some of these rolls. Let's have a listen to the next one. Let's have a listen to these. This one also has some center, edge, flam hits, as well as some different rolls and some effects. Let's check out the effects. Then stretch this across the key range. So now I want to play for you some of the ambiences that come with the library. So for this one, you can see there's 20 to choose from. Let's just pick a random one. So now I want to show you the X-Fade feature, which is really cool. So right now I have this percussion sound loaded up. And what I want to do is put a little arpeggiator on here. Let's pick a random preset. Now let's load up some strings. I'm going to go over here, turn on the string layer, and I'm going to use the lyre sound. Now let's turn on the ARP, and let's lower this a little bit. I'm going to go to the percussion. I'm going to change this to a quarter note. I'm going to go ahead and default these. So one of the cool things about the X-Fade is that we can fade in between some of these different layers. So below here, when you have an instrument selected or a layer selected, you'll see that below these drop downs, you have layer A, none, and layer B. And what this allows you to do is to assign the X-Fade from here. So for the strings, I'm going to set this to none. I just want the strings to play all the time. Percussion, I'm going to set it to layer B so that way we can fade that percussion in. And then I'm going to set the ambient to layer B as well. So now that we have that set up, I'm going to learn this to my mod wheel. Now let's check it out. So this is just scratching the surface of what you can do with this. By having percussion and winds and strings and atmospheric synths, you can really get a lot out of this, especially by learning different parameters to the mod wheel and utilizing the X fade. Alright, so that about wraps up this walkthrough for the Ancient Greek Compendium. If you'd like to learn more about this library or check out some demos to hear it in action, make sure to go to soundiron.com. Please subscribe to stay up to date on future videos like these, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.